Okay, this is the first picture I have of my grandfather. Or let's say it's the oldest picture I have of him. It must be from 1920-something, between the First and Second World War. He's the boy in the middle with the short hair, the white collar and the big ears. I don't know who the other people are. Maybe some relatives, maybe teacher, or maybe just strangers. I really don't know. It seems like there's a kind of harbor festival or something going on. As you can see, there are flags in the background. Maybe he's even on a ship, which would make sense because where he grew up there was a little harbor. He looks very happy here, but I know that his childhood wasn't really that happy. Because he had very severe eczema as a child, really bad skin. Especially his arms itched so much that he scratched them open again and again until they began bleeding. And at night, therefore, his parents tied him to his bed so he wouldn't be able to scratch himself in his sleep. And man, this sounds so brutal, especially from today's perspective. But back then, they didn't know what else to do. The illness wasn't understood and there was no real treatment, but for my grandfather that must have been terrible. When in the evening your parents come into your room and tie you to your bed, and in the night you cannot move. Oh my God. So when I look at this photo I wonder, maybe he was smiling for the camera, or maybe he was really happy for the moment. There's some kind of event going on, and for a little boy that must have been exciting. On this picture he is a little older, almost a teenager, and next to him that's his older sister Gisela. And there's a little story about her. After the war she met an American soldier named Jack, and he was about twice her age. But she actually went with him to the United States, and the two of them got married over there. I remember her from when I was a kid. She used to visit Germany every now and then, always bringing American cigarettes. That really is stuck in my mind. It's strange to look at this picture, just two kids in a garden, and to know how completely different their lives would turn out after everything. This is his family. On the left, that's his mother, Emma. Next to her, the man with the glasses, his father, or my grandfather. Unfortunately, I don't know his name, and honestly, I don't know who the other people in this photo are. My grandfather really didn't have it easy back then. From what I know, it was a real shock for his parents when they found out that she was pregnant with my grandfather. They already had Gisela and another baby. That wasn't the plan. They simply couldn't afford it. My grandfather's father was a plumber, his mother a seamstress, and therefore money was always short. And back then, if a woman had to work, it meant the man couldn't provide, and that really hurt his standing in society. They had to take money from Emma's sister. She had married a man who owned a transport business, and in that big family, she was the only one with any money. Without her help, they probably wouldn't have managed as a family of four. When I look at this photo, they seem all dressed up, even cheerful. But I can imagine there was a lot of tension. And here's my grandpa in Wehrmacht dress. Quite a jump from the earlier photos, right? Suddenly he's in full uniform with his heavy coat and cap. He used to tell me that he wasn't drafted but volunteered. Not because he wanted to fight, but because he thought, if I sign up myself, maybe I can avoid the Russian front. He hoped to be sent to Africa instead. Whether that really worked like that or if it was just luck, I honestly don't know. Maybe it was just good timing, or maybe that was the story he preferred to tell later. I also don't know if this is the very first time he's wearing the uniform, or if he had already been away for training and came home on leave. It could be either. But what I do notice is how sure of himself he looks here. Proud, maybe even a bit excited. Like this was an important moment for his family too. I guess this was a big deal. Their boy, now officially in the army. Then some relatives joined him for the photo. The young woman is Gisela, his sister, but I don't know who the other people are. What strikes me most is my grandfather's expression. Before he was happy, but here he doesn't look very happy. More like annoyed or maybe worried. It could also be that he just didn't like posing for the camera, but you can feel something heavy in this picture, like he knows what's coming, or at least feels the pressure of the time. And here he is again, this time with a comrade, another soldier. Both are wearing those long winter coats, so this was probably also taken in the colder month. Maybe they just stepped outside the barracks for a quick photo. What I find interesting is how stiff they're standing, like they are trying to do everything by the book. Still, I feel like I can see a bit of uncertainty in my grandpa's face, as if he didn't really know what was ahead of him. This is in front of another house. It looks kind of improvised, maybe near the barracks, maybe at some relative's place. I honestly don't know. What really stands out is that the uniform looks different now. It's lighter, without the long coat. Could be summer. Maybe this was taken before he got sent somewhere. Was he already on his way to deployment? No idea. Could also just be during basic training. He still looks very young here, almost like a boy playing dress up, even though it's a real uniform. These are the last pictures of him before being sent out to war.